So we're going to move right into the next session, which should be, once again, we're changing the format a little bit. This one will be a little different. I will introduce our moderator for the session is Dr. Amir Ghaferi, who is an associate professor of surgery and associate professor in the business school. And his research focuses on understanding the relationship of organizational systems and how that design impacts quality and efficiency. And this session will also include the Mr. Tasty Improv Troupe, and I think Amir will give us more detail on what that's going to entail. Dr. Ghaferi.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so everybody stand up for a second, please. Stretch your arms way up high. Stretch them out to the side, don't punch each other. Do a couple squats. Okay, all right. Get that blood flowing because this is going to be tasty. All right, so thank you so much for that introduction, Justin. So the goal of this session is to now, we've got 3 goals for this session. The first one is for you to share some stories about some of the phenotypes of mentorship malpractice and mentee missteps that you heard so much about this morning. The second goal is we want to witness these stories in real life through the group I will introduce to you shortly. I think we all know when we see something that we read about, it sticks with us much better. And the third goal is we're going to work through some of these difficult experiences as a group. So this is going to be very interactive and with the help of our artists who are here today. So without further ado, yeah, I called you guys artists. You guys are chuckling. They're going to make you laugh. So Mr. Tasty is a sketch comedy group that was formed in May of 2018. All the members of the group are trained in long-form improv. And together, they write and perform a show called Flavor of the Month, which is a live late-night sketch show that takes place at Riverside Arts Center in Ypsilanti. So I'd like to welcome up Beth, Lauren, Rania, Jared, and Matt. So I brought you guys up a little early, so you're going to have to stand there and awkwardly do nothing for a few minutes. So the first part of this, what I'd like you to do, and I think some of you have already been doing this, is you have a worksheet in your books on page 14. And if you open your book and have it not just folded over, but have it open as such, what you'll find is a worksheet that has some space for you to write on the left on a couple subjects, and we'll talk about those in a second. And then on the right-hand side, you have the amazing tables from the 2 papers that Dr. Vaughn and Chopra and Saint spoke about this morning. And so the goal here is I would like everybody to take about 3 to 4 minutes and think about a mentorship malpractice situation you were in. Either you were guilty of malpractice or you were experiencing that malpractice from someone else. I'd like you to write down some things about some mentee missteps, and they could be around productivity, it could be around whatever you would like it to be, and jot those notes down there. And then authorship will save in case, that was like my save in case this whole thing crashes and burns, which I don't think it will, because I could tell by the way you guys popped out of your seats and were so willing to stretch that you're going to be a phenomenal audience for this. So I'm going to time it, so we'll give you about 3 minutes to do that. All right, so who's our first volunteer who'd like to share a story about mentorship malpractice? Teddy's got the mic there. Oh, someone over here? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I planted someone in the audience and I thought he was raising his hand, but clearly he wasn't. So I'm outed. All right. Might as well. It's okay. It just makes it easier. No, it doesn't.
So nothing in this institution, but...
Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to try to figure out who this is.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. No judging. We're not trying to figure out who this person was. Yeah. We're just going to experience it. And our improv troupe needs kind of details.
When mentees come to mentor and provide his work and show this is what I've done, and without being very specific about what is wrong, says this is garbage, come back in a month and write the manuscript all over again without knowing exactly what is wrong or what should be different. In 1 month, when a new version of manuscript is provided, here's the same thing again and again. And this keeps going for a year. Just an example.
That's excellent. Thank you. So I'm going to look to our experts, Dr. Vaughn, Saint, and Chopra. What phenotype would that be, or is that just a new one that we need to write a new piece for JAMA for?
That's a good one. It almost feels like this is denigrating the mentee, right? And I was just talking to Sanjay about one of my earlier mentors at a different institution as well, who told me, I remember my first draft of something was garbage, but without any specific feedback. So I don't think this is a specific phenotype, but I do think this falls kind of into the exploiter sort of role, which is they clearly want something else, or they want you to do something else, so they're not valuing your contribution. This also feels a little bit to me, I wonder if this person is actually a bit of a country clubber in the sense that they don't really want to do the hard work, but they're actually part of sort of sharing this sort of good stuff, not necessarily the stuff that needs more help. Those would be my suggestions.
The other thing that we really didn't talk about in mentorship malpractice, and something that kind of I try to adhere to at the VA, we have a no jerk rule in terms of hiring. I don't hire jerks. I just don't. I don't care how much money you bring in. I don't care how famous you are, because one jerk kind of changes the dynamic. And the culture of any organization is shaped by the worst behavior a leader tolerates. Now, as Vineet said, if this person isn't willing to at least provide some specificity about, is it the background not working, is it the methods, is it the results, is it the discussion, and without giving kind of a guide, then at some point this is kind of getting to be jerky behavior, especially if it's happened more than once. And we don't have all of those things in mentorship malpractice, but I would agree that this seems kind of exploitive and that they're not willing to do the heavy lifting.
All right, we'll call that the jerk. All right, so. Go
All
for
right,
it.
cool. So we're Mr. Tasty. We do long form improv. We also do a sketch show, like Amir said. So we're gonna kind of take your stories and make it and simplify it so much you're gonna think it's ridiculous, and make it into like this simple little scene, and then you guys can kind of talk about it from there. Does that sound?
That sounds great. And I'll do, so I know those generations rep, I'll do a Zach Morris timeout when we want to kind of discuss, and we'll go time. I love it. I could see all the Gen Xers laugh, and all the millennials are like, who the hell's Zach Morris? So, but basically, I'll go time out and time in, and we'll have a chance to discuss and get feedback from the audience. All right.
Cool. Do you guys have any clarifying questions before we start? Okay, so we have like a jerk boss and a really cool mentee. Okay, cool. All right.
Hey, boss.
Hey, person.
My paper that I've been working super hard on in between.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Multiple shifts.
Yeah. No way. Yeah, I'll totally be there. No, I'm not busy right now. Okay, cool. Smell you later. Blech.
Was that
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah.
Super busy.
that? Okay. So yeah, like, as I was saying, in between, 12-hour shifts and whatever else, I got this amazing paper done, and I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, let me
Thought
just
you
take
could
a
look
look
it over.
at it.
You just spread it everywhere. That's cool.
Cool. Nope. Garbage.
Well, I double checked and kind of read JAMA and
You
some
know
things
what?
for that.
This is trash. And
Sorry, did somebody say trash? Hello?
yeah. Jan, thanks, Herbert.
You're gonna. What? I worked
Goodbye.
100 hours on that. Was there any
Take it to the
feedback?
incinerator.
Oh, okay, I'll go to the incinerator.
Was there anything specific you could tell me that?
No,
needs
just redo
improvement?
it. Just redo it.
Okay, I'll just redo it all. Okay.
1 month later.
Okay, so
Hey, yeah.
I haven't seen my family in
I'm
like
sorry, hold on a
5.
second.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I farted. Okay. All right, I'll talk to you later. Sorry, go ahead.
As I was saying, I haven't seen my family in a long time, and I've been really stressed. But I think you're gonna really like this version of this paper, and I think it's so close to being accepted for publication. I just want you to take a peek at it and tell me if I'm on the right track.
All right. I'll waste my time again. Let's see. Nope.
Well, I changed that data, but cool. Oh, no, not even.
All right, time out. So, from the mentees in the room, if you've ever experienced anything similar, well, hopefully not that similar, but similar to this, what are some countermeasures that you can employ? And for the mentors out there, what are some countermeasures you would encourage your mentee to employ in this situation? Yep.
Do I get cool thing? So I like the idea that had been brought up earlier on about having emails ahead of time with small chunks of the manuscripts instead of sending the entire thing. And so saying, this is just an introduction of abstract, and I'm looking for the specifics. Do you think it flows? Do you think we've gotten to the real concepts we want to study? So being very specific and giving the mentor some homework before you meet up. So I think that would help.
So good. Requesting specific feedback, so not just saying, here's the paper, what do you think? Okay,
And I can't throw anything or catch, so.
Thank you.
I guess I would agree exactly what was just mentioned. One of my recent meetings, I had a moment where afterwards they were asking, okay, so what do I do next? What's my home? The mentor said, what do you need to do next? This is your homework for our next meeting. Here are some actionable steps. This is what I want to see at the next meeting that I have discussing this project. And I remember leaving that meeting being ecstatic because I now have some action points that I need to do in comparison to leaving a meeting saying, what next? And just coming with, hours of work being not what the mentor wanted.
Thank you. So do you think it's fair for the mentee to ask for that? I mean, I think Beth was trying to ask that, like, what specifically do you need me to work on? Or is there kind of, a barrier to doing that? Anyone? Yes, Jim.
Please throw the box.
There you go. Nice. Nice catch.
So other than moving on from this relationship, I mean, if you're committed to this relationship, another specific request can say, can you show me an example of something that you do like that I could model this after? So that might be a little easier on the mentor. If that mentor of you have written a paper that you like or someone else's paper, you say, all right, we'll write it more like this, would be a specific question to ask to hopefully get some more direction than what you're currently getting.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So do you guys want to try to model some of those suggestions for us?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Time in. When you're ready.
This is my computer.
Hey, I know you're super busy. I just wanted to pop by because I think I finally have like a nice outline to this whole paper, and it's still a little rough, but really I think chapter 1 is pretty solid, and I'm just wondering if you can just, take a quick peek and give some edits.
Actually, I got your email
Yeah.
from earlier. I'm really glad you emailed it to me this time. It's much more
Good.
efficient than bringing a stack of paper to
Yeah,
incinerate
I know, I'm
every
old school, I'm
time.
sorry, yeah, I just
It's like
really
a waste of trees. Okay, so, so that first chunk, the paragraph of your research where you talk about important research things.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it because it didn't mention my previous research at all and all the things that I had done before.
I am the feedback fairy.
Oh, hi, feedback fairy.
Oh, hi.
About time.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Let's try giving Beth some feedback that will help her and not you.
All right.
Ready.
So, yeah, basically, maybe you could like go home and make a couple graphs to fill in some space. You know, people like looking at graphs instead of
Visuals.
reading so much.
Got it. Oh, so smart. Okay.
Just work on that,
Okay.
and maybe it'll be better. I don't think so, but maybe.
Oopsies.
Ah!
Not good. That's not nice. Uh-oh.
Awesome. All right, time out. That was excellent. Oh, thank you, Feedback Fairy. All right. Okay, let's try a different scenario here now. Anyone? Dr. Biesterveld, he's my plant. I have no shame in saying that.
I did raise my hand earlier, but he also raised his hand. All right, so when you told me that you needed something from me, I did think of an authorship thing at a certain point in my life. So basically, I wrote a whole paper from start to finish and did all the analysis before that, made all the figures. Every word on the thing was mine. And when it came to authorship, my name was buried in the middle of it somewhere, which I didn't think really adequately reflected the amount of work that I did. When 3 or 4 other people were in front of me that, frankly, like the viewpoint of the mentor was they needed the academic credit more than I did, which is not, I don't think, very just or fair.
Sounds like a typical exploiter hijacker combo. Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, we're all learning here. Okay, so thank you very much for that. You guys ready to rock
Do you
and
guys
roll?
have any questions?
Do you have any questions for him?
I have a question. Where were you in your training when this person was like, you're going to go down on the list?
Halfway through my surgery residency.
Okay,
That's okay.
cool.
Any other clarifying facts or?
Were you able to resolve the situation, or did you just have to accept that you were going to be lower on the list and deal with it?
Sort of accept it. I got moved up a little bit. I didn't say that I wanted to be a certain spot. I just sort of reiterated that all of this work was mine. Or like I reiterated all of the work that I did, acknowledged other people's contributions to it, meaning the experiments that they did. But I didn't say, again, where I wanted to be. I said that I probably deserve a little bit more credit than what I was getting.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your equal contributions to this paper. And of course, I contributed the most equally.
I contributed second equally.
Yes. Very well done, everyone.
Thank you. I don't think I did anything, but I'm supposed to move on.
You noticed that we
here.
forgot to end the last sentence in a period, so thank you.
Thank you.
that was a
okay,
big-
cool.
Crucial,
So,
crucial,
thank
Jenkins.
you.
Absolutely crucial.
I thought that was important.
So no one has any qualms. We're good. We're good to submit.
I'm fine.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say where I should be, but I should not be back here.
Well, that's where you're standing, so that's where we're putting you
Yeah,
in the list of
that's
authors.
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. It's fair.
You should have got here sooner.
Yeah, we all got here
Yeah.
early.
I don't like where I am, but I don't want to be here. I did a lot.
But we want to be here more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
Where I am is perfect because I haven't published anything in a long time, so this is going to be good for me.
Yeah.
And I published something like 18 months ago. So it's about time I'm a little closer to a year.
You
in
do like
between
all
things.
sorts of work all the time, so just
Yeah.
like chill maybe and like stand where you are and be last. Thanks.
Well, maybe I could go right.
Whoa, look how upset we all were.
Whoa.
That's not.
Yeah.
No.
It's just one spot.
Listen, guys, I came up with the margins on this paper, okay?
Switch-
That was me.
1.15.
Thank you.
Genius.
Thank you.
Genius. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Made it 2 pages longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I recommended the double spacing. It just made
Right.
it easier to read.
And my name is the longest.
Oh, that's true. It's hyphenated, so it's really long.
Double hyphenated.
Double hyphenated.
All right, time out. So, that was awesome. Strategies to mitigate or counter what he was experiencing there. Yes? Teddy?
So in that situation, maybe talking to the mentor apart from the other people, so not having the authorship conversation in a group setting.
Yep, right here.
Just something I learned from a mentor early on is to have this conversation at the very beginning, before the study is done, is decide who's doing what and the order of mentorship. Of course, if somebody falls down on the job and doesn't do it, they're not going to remain the first author. But I think the earlier on you have that conversation, the easier.
How many people do that routinely? Okay. Okay, let me ask that differently. How many of you have not done that routinely and experienced ramifications as a result? Raise your hand high and proud. Yeah. Well, hopefully one of you will kind of be able to chime in a minute on what you've done since then, or if you've kind of are learning about some ways to mitigate that today. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
just I really like that point. I think talking about mentorship should be like voting in Chicago. Do it early and often, right? And it's fluid. And it's right now, this is going to be the authorship order, but it may change depending on contribution. So someone who's second author or last author knows that they actually have to kind of do the work. Otherwise, it could change. I think that's a great suggestion.
Is there a comment on this side of the room? I thought, yes. Nice.
I think what I wanted to say is for many very junior mentees, this is very difficult. They cannot do what they don't know. So they don't know the rules of engagement. They don't know how to set expectations. I mean, he was halfway through his residency, so he only knows so much. And here we're talking about rules of mentee-mentor relationships. It's really very difficult. And like, I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. I would just say yes to that, mentor, because I have to consider the ramifications that could happen if I bypass this mentor and go to his senior and see what happens next. It's very difficult because I wouldn't know what to do and I wouldn't know what the rules are. So I wonder if there is a way for the senior leadership to oversee these mentors and get I'm pretty sure they get maybe anonymous feedback, but for many of us at the very junior mentees, it's very difficult because we don't know. I mean, I'm learning a ton now. A lot of this I just didn't know. If I was back in residency, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just say yes.
So that's a very interesting comment and idea that for the senior leaders in the room to think about potentially like a research oversight type committee that is very anonymous to some extent, obviously, but who can oversee mentorship in the department, in the division, in the section, who can help be kind of like an ombudsperson for these kinds of situations with very focused rules of engagement regarding retribution and things of that sort. I think that's an excellent idea, and I hope I see Vineet taking notes. Melissa?
So one thing related to this is the issue of dead weight. There's somebody on the authorship team who has no business being on the authorship team. So how do you deal with that?
Did you ask us how we deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideas? Dr. Dupree?
So I think more and more journals are having pretty explicit authorship responsibilities that are having to be filled out at the time of submission. So one thing that can be useful is if it's clear that there's someone that has dead weight, and I'm sorry, I can't actually see who asked the question behind the post, is offering them that sheet and saying, okay, help me understand which of these criteria you fit. And unfortunately, if you don't, then the journal says that we have to drop you as an author. And not an easy conversation at all, but it somewhat takes the onus off of you and onto the journal saying this is what's required for you to be listed here.
Awesome. All right. You guys heard enough to, you guys want to redo? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Let's try to do that better.
Okay, everyone. This is really hard for me to say, and I wouldn't be saying if I wasn't on surveillance right now. Hello, Dean. There's a new departmental policy that you can't have your name on a paper if you don't do anything on it. Yeah, I'm as upset as all of you.
So how can we get rid of this dead weight?
Oh, wow. I didn't really notice it until just now.
Yeah. Do you have a survey or something that this dead weight could fill out?
Yeah, actually, they gave me something about that. Like, have it try to fill that out, and if it can, it should just go away. Wow.
Wow. That was very effective.
See, I told him the policy, and I gave him the survey. Can I keep my job?
All right, time out. Excellent. Or scene. That was great. That was awesome. All right. How about some mentee misstep stories? Ooh, we got lots of hands going up now. You two have to duke it out. Or we'll do a jump ball with the microphone. I'm just kidding. I don't know your name, sorry. Yep.
Okay. I'm Amanda Leggett, and this is actually, I think, a misstep that I made kind of early on. So I'm going to call myself a little bit of a vampire in this situation. So, but I don't know, it's complicated. But in the very beginning of my KO award, I was doing primary data collection recruitment. It was a totally new thing for me. And I had a situation where I have kind of two primary mentors, and I was trying to have phone meetings with them, and two of them in a row were canceled because of my mentor's schedules. And so I had kind of like a laundry list of challenges that I was having, or questions I needed to have answers for, that at the time I felt were really important and kind of critical for me to move the data collection forward. And so my mentor said, just send us an email with like what questions you need answered. So I sent kind of like a bulleted list of my laundry list of questions that I needed between those two meetings. And so my mentor later told me, oh, the other mentor said, oh, is she really anxious because she has all of these questions? And so, you know, I was like, you canceled two of my meetings and I really need these answers. So, but what I learned kind of through that is some of these things, okay, I'm, you know, now garnering independence. I just need to make up my mind, especially if my mentors aren't there to answer my questions. I kind of just have to, on my own, move forward. And then I also learned not to put so many bullets in an email, and also in an email say like what's going well and what has been progressing, and then just like maybe a few key questions that I really need their feedback on, as opposed to like every single thing I was hoping to discuss over 2 hour-long meetings.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So let's just be a little unconventional. Let me present a companion to that I think might explain how this is a little bit of a learned behavior on the mentee's behalf, dealing with the particular hypothetical mentoring style that she was dealing with. And I'll present you a companion scenario with the same person. So say a new, and if no one better tweet any of this. So say a new faculty member arrives and has clinic option A or clinic option B. It works out they start in clinic option A, but they know in the long run, clinic option B for their long-term career goal makes the most sense. Faculty member becomes aware that clinic option B is a possibility. Mentor has made very clear that they want faculty member to stay in clinic option A. Faculty member does his due diligence, talks to people he respects, knowing mentor doesn't want this to happen, does his due diligence, and as like an adult, thinks that in fact clinic option B makes the most sense, does his homework, comes back to mentor. Mentor's response is, you have gone behind my back doing this, and this makes me fundamentally question the mentor-mentee relationship after 2 years of a mentee performing very well. So if I may say, in an unbiased opinion. So that's, I'd say, the companion to what you just heard.
Okay.
So you're saying that she shouldn't, I got kind of lost with the like.
I'm saying, say the vampire of constantly seeking feedback and checking in for input in some sense, is a learned behavior to dealing with a mentor that essentially demands that
there.
of you.
Okay.
Because if you don't do it, you get in big trouble.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, do you guys have any other questions for the scenario A and the side scenario companion?
Scenario.
No. Okay. All right.
You guys good? All right, go for it.
It's like 30 minutes past 1. I don't know what's going on. Oh, hey!
Hey. I just decided to walk across campus and drop by your space here to tell you that I'm canceling our meeting.
But we're here now. We can't just...
Yeah. I also brought Susan with me. She's also canceling.
I'm Susan, and I'm canceling.
So, we're gonna go get a couple Sammies down at the quad.
Okay.
And good luck.
Can I just email you? I got
Yeah.
Questions. A lot of questions.
CC me. Sure.
CC?
We'll be sitting over at the quad. Just go ahead and send us some texts or whatever.
Okay.
See ya.
Oh my God.
Your research is so important. Write all your questions.
.75. I think that I am awesome.
More questions.
What do you think? Am I awesome? You don't validate me ever.
Send.
Now I wait.
Hey. Oh man, this is a big one.
Jesus.
Yikes. Wow.
Did you guys get through the...
Whoa!
Hi.
Oh my.
I've just been waiting here.
Oh my.
For
You found
you.
us.
Well, you said you were going to be in the one sandwich shop and then you weren't there. So then I decided to go to the other sandwich shop and you weren't there. And then so I took the bus to Central Campus and I was like, oh, maybe they're all the way over there. But then I was like, no. So I was like, well, I'll just go to the hospital. And here you are.
Okay, all right. Listen, Amanda, question 213. Should I get unleaded gas? Sure.
Yes?
Yes.
thank God.
That's a life choice you can make.
It's just a little cheaper, kind of day to day on that resident salary. I'm just trying to make things work.
They
for
haven't
family.
answered your awesome question yet.
So yeah, question 75. I'm wondering if you just blew
Wait,
past
hold on a
that.
Oh, I
it's
saw
kind
it.
of up there.
I saw it because it's in bold and underlined.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Size 14. I mean, I'm just I just want to be amazing for you. Because if I'm not, then there might be this other opportunity I have that I could totally
So you know
go do.
what? We
but-
actually have a thing that we have to go to right
Yeah.
now. Ugh, so we're just gonna have to postpone this discussion for another time, and we can totally loop back. We'll
To
loop back.
75,
We'll loop back to
75.
75.
So you finally came to see scenario B.
Hi.
Hey.
It's so much nicer here.
Do you ever wonder if you're awesome?
All the time.
You are.
Thank you.
Sounds like you really needed to hear that.
I did. Do you have any openings over here?
Only if you stab your mentor in the back.
All right, time out. So do not undo that at home. So that was excellent. All right. So so let's talk to some of the mentors here about that, right? So what are some ways you could counter that email? Again, we heard some of that may just be a learned behavior based on the availability of the mentor. But if you do get one of those emails, are you upfront about it, or do you, how do you handle that? What kind of advice did you get? Yeah. Or what kind of advice would you give, having experienced that?
Yeah, I think, what advice I was kind of told is, maybe send just me a question if you have a question in the moment, rather than kind of bothering both mentors with a laundry list. And I guess it just gave me kind of more self-assurance and authority that I can make decisions on my own now. I don't always needed advice on all of the things. And at the same time, there are things I really do need feedback on, and to focus on those things and presenting them in more concise, clear ways if I have to do it by email.
I think I saw someone else raise their hand. Yep.
In that situation, I'm just curious, can peer mentoring be a way to handle the situation?
Do you have any ideas around how peer mentoring could?
Like, not knowing all the specifics, just from my experience, kind of like running by a friend or a classmate or like office mate and running the laundry list and then just getting their feedback.
Right. Yeah. So who could think of a kind of a more durable solution than kind of on a case-by-case basis? Dr. Saint. I know you do because you've written about it.
Well, I think that the suggestions are kind of a lot what you said, and that would be, first, if you send a group email, expect silence. Because everyone is hoping that someone else will respond. At least I do when I get a group email. So I think you just send it to one person, or you send it if you're going to CC others for other reasons, but you say, dear Dr. So-and-so. These are the questions. And then to prioritize, just like you said, these are the 3 key questions I have, but that you also provide your solution the same way that during clinical care, you would say that I think this person has hyponatremia, this is what I'd like to do about it, what do you think? It's much easier for them to agree or disagree. I think that would also be kind of useful.
Thank you. I think I saw another hand. No? Figment of my imagination? A vampire passing through? Okay. So, well, let's come back to the scene then and implement some of those mitigating strategies.
Okay. So, I'm not getting a lot of response from either of my mentors. They canceled the last couple meetings. Can you just read this email? Is this appropriate? Is there what should I include? What should I not include?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let me read it over real quick.
The best peer ever.
I love sharing an office with you.
Me too.
Wow.
So you just scroll a little bit further down.
Okay.
Just keep going. A little more.
Okay.
And then, yeah. And then I thought about sending this in 3 emails or maybe 5. I don't know. It's a lot.
Well, I would say you're sending it to 14 people.
Yeah.
So
well, the whole heme department, right?
Let's cut it down to one person.
Oh.
Just the person who it applies to.
So not all hematology needs to know
No.
all these questions. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just the 2? Okay.
Even
All
just
right.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
And then, so you have 75 questions. Let's divide that by 75. And then send that number of questions.
Okay. So, do you mean just as one scrolling question, just all together? Just one? Just one?
Just one of those questions, including one question in that question.
Okay, I can do that. Thanks.
Are you sure?
I think maybe another 20 edits and I'll get there. But
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. How about just this one?
Perfect.
Yes. Thanks.
No
Send.
problem.
All right. I think you're asking me to call the scene. So, great job. Thank you so much. So we are exactly at lunchtime, so we will conclude the session in a few seconds. I want to say thank you so much to the audience. Everybody was very engaged. I really appreciate all the different people who got up and shared some stories and shared some strategies on how to improve upon people's past experiences and future experiences. I'd also have to give a standing ovation to Mr. Tasty. Thank you guys so much. It's been wonderful working with you in this, and I think I speak for everyone when I say this was an experience like none other at an academic medical conference. So thank you.